Bonjour. Bonjour.
Welcome
Well,
back.
welcome back to the podcast, guys. I know we missed
1 week,
1 week.
like one episode.
We really tried. It was our first episode. Like, we didn't come out with
First
an
week
episode.
with no episode.
But honestly, we were busy. I don't know what else to say. We were really busy. Well, I don't know. This is like a
we
full...
already warned them though.
Yeah,
Right?
we warned them.
Last
We're like,
episode,
let's see.
I think we're gonna miss an episode.
Yeah. Sorry.
So we did.
But no, this is like a full circle moment because I talked about my New York experience. We talked about Gabbie going to Paris for 2 seasons, and now we can both equally ask each other questions because we were both there. I have this thing where like I always sort of manifest it on the pod. You know, I'm always sort of, oh yeah, I might go. Just because like unless I'm there and like once it's done, I don't want to really jinx anything.
Yeah.
So obviously we've known for a while that we were both going, and I think we just wanted to like, because you never know. Even I was asking Gabby, he's like, are you going? He's like, yeah, maybe. Like you never really know until you're like about to board like what's happening.
Yeah.
But it was really, really fun. I'm really tired. I actually got pretty sick afterwards, but I'm feeling a little better now. Gabby and I both have an event later, so hence this. I would stand up, but my nips might come out, and like I feel like we're trying to be PG on this podcast. Yeah, we have a fun event for Diptyque, which is really nice because it's also like French.
Oh my gosh, coming from Paris.
They
to
like they
a
had
Parisian
they
brand.
had to invite us because it's like I'm basically French now. But yeah, I think we can start talking about my Milan experience because I didn't even have time
Yeah.
to even make cuento.
I've also like never gone to Milan Fashion Week,
Milan
so I'm so
Okay
curious to
lang.
hear about it.
So
I love that. You're just like, it's okay lang.
so my whole plan was always to do Paris with the gang, like me, Mon, Gabby, LA, James, Siobhan. Like we were always like, let's do Paris. I was gonna go to Paris early just because I've spent a lot of time in Paris throughout the years, not for Fashion Week, just to vibe. I have a lot of good friends there, and I sort of miss them. And I knew during Fashion Week, because all my friends are sort of in the industry, I was like, I'm going to go to Paris early and just vibe. Well, I didn't have any time to vibe because last minute, Therese was like, book your ticket, you're going to Milan. So I did like 3 shows or 3 events in Milan. They all happened to be the same day, so that was like very stressful. But I think it was a good start because I feel like during Paris and I sort of knew how everything sort of worked, the vibes. So I did Simon Cracker, which I got through my friend. So it was nice to have like a chiller show as my first.
Yeah.
And remember Orly was your first. And that sort of got me going because I was very, very nervous. But luckily, like I wasn't corresponding for a magazine. So it was very easy for me to just go. I could do
Mhm.
whatever. But I ended up on fucking I'm trying not to curse. I ended up on Vogue Runway, like one of the best street style, like whatever. So that was really fun. Thank you, Miss Louise, for getting me that. One of my friends in Paris. Then I did Xenia, which I actually like cried a little there. Super embarrassing. But Xenia recently just did their spring summer show in Dubai. And I was looking at it online. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. So they just had like a little re-see. And so Xenia is actually very... Guys, I've been locked up at home. Sorry, I'm like very chatty. I've been like locked. I haven't done much. So we went to their headquarters and it was just me. I thought it would be like a big thing because usually even the re-sees are very hectic.
Yeah.
But it was just me and the PR person. She's bringing me through the collection. And when you see something online, seeing the clothes in person, it's a very different feeling. You know, you can touch the clothes, the way it's presented, talking to the team behind the brand, it really changes your perspective on everything, the amount of hard work that goes
Yeah.
into it. Xenia's collection, guys. Once it's in store, you guys have to run. I honestly think it was my favorite collection of the whole 2 weeks. I had these questions, like they're saying, oh, you might interview Alessandro, who's the CD. And they're like, oh, sorry, he's a little busy because buyers, everyone, we're all going to Paris the next day.
Right.
So I really didn't think much of it. I was just talking to the PR and I was like, I'm amazed because one of the questions I had was, how is Xenia sort of evolving? You know, like Xenia, we all know Xenia has like these tailored suits. It's usually more of a mature target demographic.
Yeah, like conservative.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, like you see the shift in the way fashion's going. Fashion is changing. You know, everyone's less trendy, more things, more wearable things. You could like at look at Dior.
Yeah.
You know, people are like, there's a shift even with creative direction. There's a lot of change happening, and I was like, well, I even though I saw the collection online, I'm like, I want to ask how is Xenia sort of evolving, even though they've been around for so long. All the questions I sort of had were answered when I saw the clothes. I swear to God, I started tearing up. I was like so enamored. That's the word I used. I couldn't think of a better word for my story. It's like I was so enamored. Like I was so in shock because it made me realize that this is the industry I want to be in. I love clothes. I love just clothes in general, but like when you get to talk to the team and you see the reason behind everything, it just makes everything feel more purposeful. And then Alessandro randomly came up to me in the middle of his meeting. He's like, I see you're so like you're obsessed with everything. And I got to tell him like, you know, all the questions I had, like how is Xenia evolving, I didn't need to ask him that anymore because I saw it through the clothes.
Yeah.
Like they basically did, sorry, this is like a whole Xenia ad, but I swear guys, it was my favorite. It like I went out of that little meeting being like, oh my God, this was like the best day of my life. But yeah, they basically found this technology to turn like clothes like this, even suits, like even like, you know, like the cotton shirts at Zara, like random things, but all made out of leather.
Mm-hmm.
Leather. And it's so soft, breathable. It just like, I don't know. You guys have to see the collection in person, but just.
Or they can check your reel.
They can check my reel, my story. I basically said the same thing, but that is really nice. And then straight after that, I went home, I changed, and I went to Todd's. And Todd's is more, they always throw like, for women's, they always do a show, and for men's, they always just do a big party. Like Mond had gone before, and he was like, no, it's always a really fun party. I even got to meet the Todd's team. Like, I thought they're all KOLs, so I was talking to them in the KOL terms, and they're like, no, we're like the team. They look so chic. They're all like dressed in Todd's. I got to meet Joe Alwyn, who's like Taylor's ex, Cooper Cooch, and like a bunch of other people, and it was fun because a lot of the people I ended up meeting at Todd's, I ended up seeing at different shows, and it felt like, okay, we're like sort of friends already, you know? But that was really fun. So Milan is quite quick, but there's a lot of adjusting I had to do because going to Fashion Week isn't easy. It's stressful. You have deadlines for content, shooting, interviewing people. But I think I just had to be like, what is it, like thrust into the ocean? Is that a term? Because I did everything by myself. Like I was alone. I would go home and just like, I was just alone. So going to Paris, flying, I was like, chill now. But yeah, what else did I? Oh, I had the best carbonara in my life. So that is fun. Yeah, that was Milan. But no, I'm glad I did it. Would I do Milan every season? No. It's not. You really need to love the brands. And I think the brands are younger and different compared to Paris. So like my perception of Fashion Week is like the Kenzos, the Hermes, the Louis Vuittons. And so luckily I wear a lot of the brands in Milan, but it's not for everyone. And you can tell the vibe was just more serious because it's a lot of tailored suits, things like that.
Yeah.
So unless you're really into that, I wouldn't recommend, just in general. And Milan is also like, there's not much to do. So I spent a lot of time just like figuring out my gear, eating. I just did cardio just for shits and gigs. But yeah, Milan was interesting. But then I met up with everyone in Paris and like it was a lot more fun. Still very grateful to go. I'd go maybe if there was like certain shows that I was invited to.
Yeah.
But Milan, it was honestly very lonely just because I was doing everything on my own. Like everyone was still packing, everyone was like doing their pullouts. And I'm like already like getting stressed. Like my zits were starting. It was so hot, guys. Like hotter than Paris, Gabbie. Like I was burning. My first day got burnt already, and I was like at the pharmacies, like I need an aloe vera. They're like, what is that? Trying to Google Translate, but super fun. I think I needed that just to like throw myself in already.
Yeah, because at least you had like Milan before Paris.
Yeah,
Because you've never done since.
because I'd never done it
Yeah,
before. Like
so
New
it's
York
like
is very
nice.
New York. It's like one show a day or some. It's a lot chiller.
Yeah.
Well, Paris and Milan, it's like back to back. So I sort of had to get that energy. Like, okay, Liam, you're gonna start doing
Mm-hmm.
this. You know, I'd have an espresso in the morning and be like, okay, that's gonna be my only meal till dinner. Yeah, I enjoyed it. And then we met up in Paris. And I got we can start talking. So I'm gonna lose my voice.
But what is like? What would you say? Should we talk about this early? Like, or do we? Should we talk about Paris first? But I wanted to know like what do you think are like the major differences with Paris and Milan? Like having experienced both.
Well, not a lot of people went to Milan this season.
Yeah.
And that's why when Therese, my manager, was like, hey, would you be open to going? I was like, you know what? If no one's going,
Then
I'm
yeah.
trying to take any opportunity I can. Like, I really didn't know. Like, imagine I flew to Europe with just Todd's, which when my manager told me about Todd's, that was my first confirmation. I was like crying, like fully bawling. Like, she wouldn't tell me anything until I was actually
like super finalized.
finalized. So I didn't know anything. Um, yeah, it's very different. So Milan's a lot smaller, but it's harder to get around.
Yeah.
The metro is not the most ideal because there's not metro stations everywhere, and Milan's basically like a little circle, right?
Yeah.
But like, I was staying like on one side, and like let's say like one thing would be on the other side. It actually takes a very long time, even without the traffic. Like it's not walkable. It's
Mhm.
not like we're able to walk a lot in Paris, like. But like Milan is a place you really need a car. Like I end up spending, I'm not joking, like 50,000 pesos on Uber alone.
Yeah.
And that is me like conserving.
The last time I
Like-
went to Milan, they only had Uber Blacks.
No, yeah.
I
No,
said like that until
the
now.
taxi is an option, but you can never get a taxi.
Yeah.
That you have to get a fucking. I'm trying. You have to get an artista van, as in like full blown
Yeah.
van. Like there's no other cars available, and they're like, "Oh, call a taxi." I have to get someone 10 minutes. I can't wait for the taxi to then come. So it is a very big financial burden. But I found it was worth it because I really love Xenia. It like really made me love what I was doing more. You know, and like being
Yeah.
able to talk to the creative director, you know, we don't get those chances a lot. That is very big for me. But I asked him, I was like, hey, do you want to be on camera? He was like, no. I'm like,
It's like shy.
they're very shy in Milan. Well, in Paris, I feel like they're used to more press.
Oh, that's so true.
I find that
I feel
even-
like Paris is more like a spectacle. Like
Yeah.
there's more
So
press,
like
there's
there
more
was less
celebs.
press in Milan, and so like when I was interviewing people, they'd be like, oh, "Okay, like we're okay now," and I'm like, "Wait, but I haven't even asked you any questions. Like we barely got through the greeting." So that's one thing I noticed. I feel like in Paris there's press, there's more cameras,
Yeah.
street photographers. In Milan, a little less, and maybe that's why
Okay.
Vogue Runway had to like, but because there's no one else. So it is definitely a lot more chill. Like I know a lot of people like that skipped out, not just like Pinoys, but just
Yeah.
like people in
No,
general.
I
Like-
noticed that like more people. Oh my god, it sounds like a Milan. Like we're trashing Milan.
No, but
like
I really love.
no, I
it.
noticed like even like Mon and like LA like didn't they go to Milan before? But then they just
Yeah.
haven't been going.
There
So
really wasn't much, but
I've
again,
never. I just personally didn't go like the last few times because there's less. Like for men's fashion week, at
There's,
least
like,
there's
no-
like
there's
less things
nothing.
happening, so it's sort of like
Yeah,
just not worth it to go.
like
Because
luckily, I
again, like
stayed
we're
with-
paying for our own everything.
Yeah.
Like, do I wanna spend and stay an extra week in Milan for 2-3 things?
Yeah, luckily I stayed with a friend, shout out Kina, and she was actually gone. So that's
So you had to replace yourself.
Yeah, but I was also like lonely because I would go
Oh,
home.
okay. Yeah.
I would call everyone. I'm like, guys, like, what's up? Like, someone please answer me because it just felt like very lonely. Because you don't realize, like, especially like, you have deadlines with these brands. So like, and everything. I think even for you, all of our events sort of happened within, like per day within like 3 hours. So you're tired, you change, you go home. It's like maybe like almost dinner time. You eat and then you're like, wait, I have a full set of editing and things I have to do
Yeah.
and preparations for the next day. So I think I grew up a lot. You know, like I learned to like,
I know they grew up a lot.
oh my god, I even called Miss Pat. I was like, I don't know how to use the camera because obviously I didn't have time to like do it on the. How am I gonna do it on the plane? So I was like trying to like figure all these things out. Last minute, I was like, Pat, I need to call you right now. She's like, It's like, please help. But like everything worked out, and everything does work out. But no, it's like very stressful. And like that's why I see a lot of people not going every year, every season, because it's like not for the week. Like there are times when I wanted to cry and I'm like, Liam, you can't look like crap. You have to keep going. And I wanted to use my Dior like eye patches, but I'm like, wait, I haven't filmed my reel. So I couldn't just like destroy the box. Um, but very grateful, It's just it's not the easiest. Like I hear a lot of people telling me like, "Oh my god, it looks look like so much fun. I want to go next season." I'm like, it's a lot of work. But if you really like what you do, then do it. Okay, let's move on to Paris. What was your question? I forgot.
Like the major difference.
Oh yeah. So
Says.
definitely like travel. I try to metro as much as possible, but it's not like when you metro in Paris, everything's like more organized. We're like, okay, then it's like a 3 minute walk. It's then like a 20 minute walk,
Yeah.
and your shoes are like too small and don't fit you. Like it was very, so I had to Uber, and an Uber Black. Like I was like, let me try and wait for a taxi. No taxis were coming. Like they knew I was pressed for time. So Uber Black it was, which again, at least you show up. Like I showed up to Todd's. Everyone thought I was like an artista because there was
'Cause you're
like
an Uber
there was like
Black.
big K-pop idols. I think the guy
Like
from
coming.
NCT
Yeah.
and like Cooper Cooch, Joe Alwyn, like Jacob, like big people. So then my van showed up and they're like, "Who's that?" And they're like, "Who's this man like with the blonde hair?" And I'm like, "Hey guys," but super fun, very grateful, and I actually really love Xenia and like seeing Xenia like evolve into. They're just evolving into something I see myself wearing
Yeah.
more. It is really nice to see. So guys, invite me to the show. I'll go if you guys have a show next season. Um, but Paris is fun. I think we basically had a very similar schedule,
Yeah.
right? You had an extra like things, but like we basically chilled. Like we were together the whole time, which was nice. Where do we start? Do you want to start with Louis Vuitton?
Yeah. Wait, what?
That
We
is our
kind of
first.
arrived. We arrived in Paris the same day. Like
Yeah.
you from Milan, like me from Manila. Well, the past 2 seasons I've just been arriving like a day before Fashion Week starts. But like this season, like last 2 seasons, I was kind of busy like the day before. Like I still had to like buy things. Like I had in mind like, oh, I'm gonna buy some things to complete a few looks. But then for this season, I was pretty complete.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so my first day was super super chill. Just like yeah, I wasn't doing anything for Fashion Week except checking in and everything and steaming.
Oh my god.
That's the thing. Like you have to steam all your clothes, especially like coming from packing and everything. Like even if you fold it
The amount of-
very properly.
The amount of times the amount of
It's-
hours I spent steaming on the floor.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like I actually preview asked like me questions and I said I spent like a good like portion of my day steaming everything. And then you'd like one thing I noticed is that people actually repeat outfits. I think as a Filipino person watching Filipino or Asians going, they seem like they're always dressed by the brand. And honestly, I think especially this season, like a lot of us weren't. Like maybe for
Yeah,
some
there were
brands,
a
but
lot
not for
of
all.
brands that
And I
did it.
realized that you don't actually have to wear the brand. There's a lot of people that show up to shows in like jeans and a white t-shirt, and they call it a day.
Yeah.
Not that like you always want to do that, but it's a lot more laid back than people think. And actually, Style.com just did like a right before Milan asked someone like he he interviewed someone that basically packed everything into one carry-on, and he basically like just rewore like he brought 3 pairs of pants, like 5 shirts, and just rewore that. So a lot of people are re-wearing outfits.
I think it also depends like why you're in Fashion Week.
Yeah.
So a lot of these people are also like buyers and
Yeah.
they're just like editors who they feel like, okay, I'm really just here for my job. I just need to watch the shows, review whatever. Or if you're a buyer, you just want to see like, okay, what are we gonna carry next season
Mhm.
at our store? So those people obviously, like not all those people might care to dress up, but then for sure if you're like a celebrity or an influencer, those are the people that
Want to post more.
want to post more. Maybe there's sent stuff to wear by the brands. So those are the people that will be always changing. Or then there's some people that just really enjoy it. Like maybe like clients of the brands, fans of
Or
the
just
brands.
people that are like in the industry somehow and
Yeah.
they know connect. So I always felt like, well, based off of the feed, you see people always stressed, and that's always not the case. Obviously, you try your hardest, but it's a very big expense.
Yeah.
I think even you this season, like you wore a lot of Inigo. You were just like, I'm just gonna wear something that fits the vibe of the brand.
Yeah.
So I think that's one thing I noticed, which is really nice because it's a big expense and you're never gonna wear those clothes again.
I know. But I've also always done that. Like even my first season, I always mix with like local designers because not everyone has the opportunity to go to Fashion Week. So it's also like a great time to sort of showcase your local designers
Yeah.
too. Like the ones that you just love and want to wear. And again, like you don't have to wear the brand. Somebody commented on my TikTok, I think when I was dressing up, they said, "Oh, like just out of curiosity, like is it like a requirement or is it sort of like frowned upon if you're not wearing the brand?" And it's like totally
No.
not. But if you're being dressed, obviously, like if you're sent clothes, like you're gonna want to wear that. Like what are you gonna do? Not wear the outfit
Yeah.
they're gonna send you?
Then you
But
have
if
to
not-
purchase an outfit because they're like, you have to be dressed.
But if
you have
like
to in the brand.
if they don't send you an outfit, then you can just pretty much wear anything. And I feel like other creators have talked about that also. I've seen other videos where they mention like, yeah, I'm not being dressed by this brand, so I can literally wear anything I want to this show.
Yeah. Yeah, that is really nice. I did the same thing. So I worked with a stylist. So because I was leaving earlier, I really had to try and plan
Before,
before.
yeah, ahead.
And so when everyone was doing fittings and stuff, I was like, well, I'm already in Europe. I sort of had to deal with that already. So that was like one thing that like stressed me out because no one was like really packing. And I was like, oh, well, I've fully packed.
Yeah.
But I worked with my stylist, Tracy and Mago. And no, one goal that I had was I really wanted to highlight as many Filipino designers as possible. We just had to pick the right ones that really matched the aura of the brand. So like luckily I had him that sort of helped with that, and that was a very big stress reliever because like I hadn't even really told people like, oh, by the way, I'm going except for my friends. So
Yeah.
brands were still like, hey, do you want to do this? You want to do this? I wasn't saying no. I was like, there's no way. We were filming episodes in the midst of me trying to pack my life. So yeah, that's like regarding packing. But what would you say were your like favorite shows?
Packing is so hard. Can we insert that? Packing for Fashion Week is so much harder because you have to like bring extra things that
Just
you
in
feel like
case.
just
just
in case.
you might get a show.
And also like I like to make sure that I have a lot of basics that I bring because it's also like the mixing and matching or sometimes like like maybe you're sent an outfit but you're gonna wear like for me I wore like my LV I wore like a shirt and tie that was my own underneath that. So you want to bring like all the basic like a basic dress shirt, a basic
Oh my
t-shirt,
God.
things you want to
My
layer
hips.
with. So just the checklist for packing for Fashion Week is insane. Like it stresses me out. Like literally the week before I leave, I'm like, oh my god. And
like,
also like needing to see if it's gonna fit into your luggage
luggage, like how
allowance.
is it gonna fit in? To me, it wasn't like the weight; it was like this physical space. So my manager got me these like vacuum seals.
Yeah,
But that meant once you took it out of the vacuum
it's
seal,
more wrinkled.
you then had to like iron or like steam everything. But that was a very big help. But yeah, trying to like pre-plan like how like what do I potentially need, and a lot of my confirmations came in when I was there. My Hermes, my Xenia happened when I was already like at the airport.
Yeah.
As well as like Com and
Mhm.
Junior for us. So like a lot of things like someone even asked me like why weren't you wearing Adidas to
To Adidas.
Adidas? And I'm like, because I didn't know I was going to Adidas.
Yeah.
And I didn't have space. I couldn't bring a sneaker because I had to think practically like, okay, like what shoes do I actually
Yeah.
need for shows? So it is
Oh, that's another the shoes because you kind of want to be practical with the amount of shoes that you
but
bring.
like you
but
want
not
to
everything will-
you want like a funky
yeah,
shoe,
and it's
but
also like
you can't
want it to like
rewear
you
it.
need it to suit your outfit,
So
and also like even what shoes are you gonna wear on your day
Yeah.
off or something, and you're gonna be walking.
like I rewore these pants, like these black pants, like over and over again. And the guys, the heat was crazy. I'm not joking. I never go to Europe in the summer. I'm like a fall boy.
It was the
It was
hottest
so
ever.
no, it was the hottest thing ever. Like hotter than Manila. And imagine there's no AC. Like there's no banyos anywhere. Like me and Gabby, like I was about to cry. We were walking around like trying to find a banyo for me. Like
Wait,
for
we-
so long. I was just
Oh
like,
my gosh. So we were in this like a passage is what they call it. It's like just like a narrow, like I'm not gonna call it a street, but it's like a street.
well,
but
Heart just shot there. You can look. She
Yeah.
shot in this little.
and
like,
literally
it's
that
with the
exact
Labubu
passage.
stores.
It's
Yeah.
like an alley, but it's like sort of like there's a roof over
It's
the
like
street.
a little glass situation.
Yeah, a glass situation. But anyway, so we were really looking for a restroom, and
Because
most of the
after-
restrooms
was
there
this
are
after
in.
Junior?
It was after Junia, before Comme des Garçons.
And I went to
You went to Adidas, and
I
we
was
wanted
like-
to
I
first
was
go
like,
to like
"Gabbie, I
this
really need
pop-up,
to
but the line
pee."
was so long. So we just decided to like, okay, let's walk around, maybe look for a cafe. But then he really had to go to the restroom. So we found that little passage, whatever, and we wanted to find a restroom there. And so we just were trying to check every store if they had a restaurant. And I saw this place, and it's had a sign that they had like juices, matcha,
my
whatever.
God, it
and
is
then
the
so I was
creepiest
like, I
thing
was
ever.
excited. I said, okay, I really want to drink because I'm feeling really hot. So let's try it.
And then
for
I can
this,
ban you.
this establishment. So I'm like, hi. They're like, do you have a reservation? And I'm thinking, the place looks so empty.
Like,
Why do I need an appointment reservation?
Like it just says like
Whatever.
coffee. I'm like,
So I said,
he just
"Oh,
wants to
I
get a
just want a
latte or
drink."
something.
I just need a drink. And they're like, yeah, but you need to get a foot massage. It's like,
No, I was like, Gabbie, no, and he was just like staring at us like weirdly. It's giving like Nine Perfect Strangers vibes. I was like, I cannot do this. Like he was just staring like, oh, you need to get a foot massage to buy coffee, and we're
He's
like,
like, yeah, we'll give you a foot massage
We're like-
and like a matcha.
it's like we don't have time for. I don't want to get oiled
It
up
was,
right now.
um,
Like I just need
no, thank you.
to pee, and he just needs a coffee, and he just kept staring at us.
And we're like, what are you talking about? Why are you offering us a foot massage? He just has to go to the restroom. I just want a drink.
So we
I can
ran
see their
out.
bottles of juices also.
Yeah.
So can I just
And
buy that?
I was telling Gabbie, I was like, I think I give up on the peeing. And he's like, no, we have calm after. We're going to be waiting. We're going to be doing this. So we found a Starbucks.
To be fair though, if you went to Com and it was so hot, you would have just sweat out like the pee that you needed to pee.
No,
Because it was so hot.
no AC. And because it was like dark, they closed all the windows. So no, like, it was bad.
No air circulation. No people were actually opening the windows already while waiting. That's why there was
sticking their
like,
head out. No, like it just.
yeah.
So one thing I thought of was like, oh, like things are going to start on time. Nothing started on time. Nothing. And like brands knew. So Dior was right before. The Dior show was right before Com. So they couldn't start because all the Dior people weren't at Com yet.
Yeah, and it's also the traffic. I think I mentioned this already before.
Yeah.
Like traffic is just horrible during Fashion Week.
No, like
It
we
could
would
be 1 kilometer and take you so
like
long,
we would
20
bump into
minutes.
cars, as in like physically, like our car would bump into people and we just move on. It's like we didn't have time. No, like our car bumped into someone and it's like, Gabbie, did you hear that? He was like, yeah. And the driver's just like, "Ugh." But your driver is so cute. He's like this little Filipino man with like a mustache, but he has such a deep French accent. And then he'd like roll down the window and start screaming at people in like a full
Yeah.
French accent. It was just the cutest thing. But like, yeah, not the most relaxing, but it's sort of like
It's so funny because
entertaining.
drivers in Paris actually are not calm. Remember that rotunda situation where like everyone was just like bumper
No,
to
it's like
bumper
worse
weird.
than Manila. It's worse than EDSA. No, like cars were like this, and I was like, wait, how is this car gonna like?
And then
get
every
around?
car is like shouting at another car.
Yeah,
Like,
and they like roll
"No!"
down the windows. I'm like, if you did this anywhere in Asia, you'd probably get stabbed or shot
Yeah.
or like punched. But people are just so used to it. Like the amount of times I was walking down the street, pedestrian crossing, and then they would like just try and run me over. Like it is not for the weak, especially when you have like a fit on. It's like
Yeah.
someone's gonna throw something at me.
Or they're gonna honk their horn at you.
Yeah, it was very intense. But you know what? We made it everything on time. But no, that's like another
We're also
thing.
I realize we're not talking about it in chronological order. Like we already went to the calm day. We're just crazy.
Yeah.
Also, I'm sorry, like do I sound like congested?
No, we're dying.
I realize like my voice is like oh no, but okay. Speaking of on time, I was almost late to this one show. As in, I was so scared because I've never missed anything, and I really, really thought I was gonna miss it because I was 30 minutes late already
Why
to like the
3?
time that was on the invite.
Yeah.
I did know though that like okay, nothing starts on time, so maybe I can still make it. So I was like, I remember like being dropped off and running to the entrance,
And what
but then they let
didn't
me
start?
in. So I knew for sure that they let me in. It hasn't
Because
started.
sometimes they won't let you in. Even when it
Anymore.
hasn't started. They're just like, no.
They're just yeah.
Unless you're like an A-list.
They're gonna say, okay, this is the time that we're not letting anyone through the gate anymore. But they let me in. But when I got in, it was dark already, as in pitch black. So like I had to be ushered to my seat because it was dark. Like I couldn't
You
see
should have just been like, Mond, where are you?
because it was a performance, not really a show, runway show. So it was in this theater. So all the lights it was blackout, and I think I was the last person to get there
Really? At least.
because I just sat and it was pitch black, and then the performance started after that. But I was just really happy that I didn't make it on time, and I forgot who I was making this cuento to, but I just said that it's just so much pressure to make it to a show. Also, knowing that it's so hard for these like the local PR people to get us these seats, these
Seats.
invites for the Philippines. So you're just so pressured. It's embarrassing for you to miss a show, whether it's because of traffic or whatever reason you
There's
have.
no excuse. Like, so that day we had, what did we have before Hermes? Oh, we had Color.
Color,
And
was
we
the
were all like in
first.
a look. So we changed in the car, went to Hermes. We had the most time at Hermes, but that's because we sprinted. And I shit you not, guys.
We were early.
We were sprinting out.
Yeah, but also we were early for a reason. We needed to be early because we did not get our
Oh my
physical
God, yeah.
invites.
We didn't get our physical invites. And like, we thought weren't going to get let in. They luckily let us in. So we get our Hermes. Then we sprint to Dior, which they had to move our time slot because it was during Hermes. And then we had to drop Gabbie at Wifey. So there's a lot going on. But luckily, it all sort of works out. But I didn't understand when people were like, oh, like we've missed shows. It's very much easy to miss shows. If one, like, I think every time I'd go to a show, I'd ask Gabbie, like, wait, is it usually late? Because now you sort of get a hang of, like,
Yeah.
the schedules are basically usually the same. Like, Orly's always before Louis Vuitton, Junior and Com are the same day. So you sort of get to know those schedules a little better.
Yeah, the schedules,
And
most
even-
of the time they stay the same each season, so you know already. It's just really, what's intense is if you have back-to-back shows, because the
And
time
all of our
frame
things
is
for
so
back to back,
short.
except for I think
Yeah.
you with Louis Vuitton. Everything else is back to back, even in Milan. And so I was always like, I don't understand how people miss shows because it's planned strategically, so that technically the editors can go to all
Because there really are people that attend everything,
for
like
work.
editors,
It's
or
not
whatever.
not KOLs, like just people that
Like they really have to attend every single show. So that's why the time never overlaps. But then it's just really difficult to get to the next show when it's back to back
But I get
because
it
of
now.
traffic and everything. But at least you know that these shows are so short. So even if it doesn't start on time, once it starts, I'm going to be able to leave in 15 minutes
Yeah.
probably.
It's crazy the amount of preparation you have to do just for something to end like.
In 15 minutes.
That's like if you're lucky. That's like if they do a full like finale.
Yeah.
Because sometimes like Junior and Com, they go out once. If you didn't take a picture of that look, voila.
Yeah.
They don't do like a finale where they all come out. So I don't know. I'm very grateful for everything that happened. Yes, I got
know.
like I'm very tired. I'm like med
Same.
sick. I have zits for the first time. But I think that's really part of it. You really need to find a way to enjoy it. Because I can see a lot of my friends going and not enjoying. Because you really have to be into the fashion. At the end of the day, probably if you're not into the fashion, you're not gonna like
You're just going to hate
like
it. Maybe. Because it really is tiring. But for me, I personally always just feel tired when I'm back already.
Yeah.
You're sort of
same.
running off of the adrenaline rush and everything. So, and you're too busy to even feel tired.
You don't have time. You don't have
but-
time. But what were your favorite shows?
Favorite shows? Oh my gosh, this season I'm like torn. I don't know what my favorite show is. I always love
3,
Hermes.
2,
I mean, I think I love Hermes because like I was with you and Mond and it was just a fun time and we got to sit You wanna
Front
reveal- I don't want to be able to see it because it's your
No, shout out.
big
I don't
show.
know what Tara Austria did. Miss Tara Austria, thank you so much. Can I just say,
To
no,
get
s-
3 front row seats.
yeah, so we were
for
making
Hermes.
Chica beforehand, and it was like, who are the KOLs going? So she mentioned 2 KOLs. And then I saw one of these KOLs come in. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go talk to the person, interview the person. But then, like, I was talking to you, and then I
Yeah.
got distracted, and I'm like, wait, I can't find the person. It's because the person was second row. And I was like, oh. I was like, I even asked, hey, can you like move to the side? Like, can I interview you? But like, sorry, you're second row. So it's like sort of hard because there's people sitting in front. I was like, yeah, like, because we're like front row. So that was a very nice moment. And like, I think Hermes is really fun because, well, of the people there, like, it's fun to see how people dress up. But Hermes is really trying to go like younger. Like if you look at their
Yeah.
clothes, it's actually I think because we only see like here all the titas and like older people.
I know. I think it's such a misconception. I think it's such a misconception because of like the Birkin just became bigger than the brand. You know what I mean?
But there's so much
then,
more.
and the Birkin's such a motherly madame.
Yeah, but it's so
bag.
not
But then
madame.
the brand itself, it's very simple but also playful. You know, like the
Yeah.
clothes, they're very clean, they're very wearable for younger
People just don't see the ready to wear as much. But even Tara was saying like I think she put us in front of like
the global communication.
the global communications because they were like we want younger people. We want
Yeah.
younger people at the show. Like Miss Jordan Woods was there with her Himalayan.
No, like you can have fun with it.
like you can
So
have
it's
fun
so
with it, and so that was a really fun show. And the fact that the three of us, I think that was our first. Well, we had Junior and Com together, but that was our first like super fun.
super
show.
fun, like all seated beside each other.
I saw like the people from Overcompensating and Adults. I keep telling Mon and Gabby to watch the show, and they haven't.
I
yet.
haven't.
So Owen was there. He's in both, and then what's his name? Jack something. The one with the mustache from Adults. Super cute.
I saw this other actor also in Hermes. I don't know where I've seen him though. Like swear.
No, but the thing
he's
is-
an actor.
Like sometimes I follow all these people, especially the Europeans, but I don't know their name. I just like their feed.
That's the
And
difference
so
with
I'm
like.
always like, wait, are you a press? Are you KOL? Like you
but
forget.
you've seen them somewhere. You just know.
Yeah.
So like in Hermes, the difference when celebrities attend Hermes, there's not a big like fanfare craze around them. Like they're very low key when they attend. Because when you go to another show, you know when an actor's arriving because there's press around them.
It's
You know they really attend
Like
as
the-
like to get press mileage for the brand. So
Hermes
they're like
is
an
more like-
official celebrity.
to be closer to the brand.
Yeah, but then like when celebrities attend Hermes, they're just attending as like maybe they're a client of Hermes or something like that. So they're very like calm and chill. So sometimes you're like, are they an actor? I think they are. I think I've seen them somewhere, but then they're just very
Chill.
yeah.
But no, MS is really fun. I really have to say, like Todd's and Xenia were fun for me as well.
Mhm.
Well, I didn't go to the LV show, but
Oh my
went
gosh,
to the
I
Reese
was
so
into
fun.
LV. I had fun. I felt like the LV collection this season was a little bit more like I wouldn't say it's not very Pharrell because it still is very Pharrell, but it's a little bit different compared to
He
his
took-
last few
I
collections.
think it became less streetwear, and I think people like
Yeah.
even with the last season, people were really saying like LV is really going down a different route, and I think he finally listened. Which I
But
really
the show
enjoyed.
itself was fun, so the whole set was like snakes and ladders.
Oh my god! So Gabby and I were walking. Sorry guys, like this is all over the place. Gabby and I were walking. This is like Pride, but like we didn't really do anything. We were just walking. We're tired now. Like this was our last day of like everything. We were like exhausted.
Yeah.
And he was like, you know, this is where LV was. And it's like, what the F?
Yeah, because it was Pride. So we were walking in the Marais and then we passed by Pompidou and then I said, this is where LV was. Like you can literally see into the whole
I know, and it's
Plus,
crazy how they're
courtyard.
able to like
close down.
close
Like-
down and change up a whole thing.
No, LV
Like-
always does that every year. They always do it somewhere big and they close it down. And it's so much fun.
Wait, I just
And I
Yeah.
also saw Utah and I love NCT. So Utah's always worked with LV, but I just haven't seen him in like the last season, which was my first show. So I said, oh my gosh, I really want to see him. And I saw him there.
I didn't see Mingyu.
Mingyu was staying near
Near
me.
Gabby. Like we were literally like we would walk past and we'd be like, should we just go in?
Yeah.
Because they weren't allowing in the fans. And like Gabby and I like were dressed like they're gonna let us in.
So we would like walk around my hotel and Mingyu,
Just the hope that he'd be like walking.
Yeah, 'cause
like, as if
Mingyu-
he'd be walking around.
yeah,
also.
Mingyu staying near my hotel. And then what the funny thing is, I'm not gonna name the hotel for just privacy, even if he revealed himself. But so
He
when we
posted
walk,
it- he
when you
posted
walk
his
past the
address.
entrance, we would see like the same 3 or 4 fans, like they're just camped outside the hotel entrance the whole week.
Just the
Like
three of them.
every no matter what, like we've walked there at night, we've walked there in the middle of the day. They're still there.
They were always just there. Crazy. So I hope they got their photos.
I hope they saw him at least.
Yeah. No, I saw a video of him walking.
Oh,
out.
they saw him. Okay.
Like he walked out. The
Good for
moment somehow.
them.
Well, there's only 3. Mingyu doesn't do well.
yeah,
with,
they're
like,
3, but then
pressure,
they're 3, but then they're there the entire
like
week.
nonstop.
Like
And the
day
thing
to
is,
night.
guys, this heat, like everyone that was like talking about the heat. That was like the opening. So like, how's the weather? Like hot.
No,
like you guys
super
don't
hot.
understand. Like you know, like peak summer in Manila, 10 times that, no AC in your outdoors. Like actually, people were like,
Yeah.
people were fanning. Like all you heard was that
No, it was super
Because
hot.
no one had Jisoo lives. Actually, the only one person had Jisoo lives, but I'm like, I have beef with him right now.
Oh my god.
You know
Reveal. I know who it
who?
is. But that's why I was like, I can't believe you mentioned.
No, like, have we? I think we've talked about him before.
I don't
Have we
remember.
not? Well, like, I love his
Yeah,
feed.
Liam
he's
is
he's such
having-
a vibe, and like everyone always says, like, oh, you're not gonna like him when you see him in person. Like, first of all, he's at Todd's and like burped in my face, so that was like already.
Oh my god, I know who
disgusting.
this person is.
And then
now.
like he just doesn't look the
Oh,
same,
dying,
and like
I'm dying.
sometimes it's just the lighting. This is like full on like editing well.
And I can't believe their first encounter was him burping.
Yeah, he's like taking cotton. He goes, oh, and I was like, and I'm not a burper, so I'm like, oh, like I can't.
But also, you know, if you burp, you can actually burp like not loudly.
No,
So there's
it
a
was, like-
difference if you're burping.
Yeah.
It's like you don't
no,
care.
I like almost puked. And the
You
thing
just
is,
burp,
Cooper
like-
Kuchpa was sitting in front of me. Like,
Like,
I
I-
almost puked on him. Because he was just making Chica, like, sitting down by the pool. And we were looking out, like, taking videos of, like, the models. I was like, oh my God, like, I can't. And then I interviewed him, pa. And he was like, oh, like, how's the lighting? And I was, like, so over him at this point.
Yeah, Liam interviewed him and didn't even use the footage.
I was just like, yeah, like, you look like a A-list.
A blank star.
Yeah, you look like an A-list. Like, you look super cool. And he's like, oh my God, perfect. He did not. But I didn't use it because Baka, he'd like kill me.
But yeah, I feel like
But
this season was so tiring.
I don't know what.
This
yeah.
was the busiest season I had also though. The
Yeah,
most.
really. It was a
Yeah,
lot.
for me.
We got a lot of things last minute.
This season was the season of last minute also. So
Or
even when
maybe
I
they
packed,
just weren't telling
I
us.
felt like I had so many extra clothes. But then I even shopped for like my con look. And I thought I had way more clothes than
In
I
fairness,
needed.
it was on sale, guys.
50% off. Because Men's Fashion Week is June and Jan. So that's always end of season sale.
Which is perfect. But no, I had fun. I'm trying to think of other. Oh my God.
What? What's there? I can mention it. Oh my gosh. So I was also really stressed because, yeah, I feel like if we're talking about this season, I need to bring it up because it was this stressful moment of my week. I almost didn't get into one show. So the physical invite came really late. I think it arrived
This
the day of the show.
No,
but then
honestly,
it normally arrives days before the show. So
This
I've
was
been
the
checking
season of
continuously
none
this
of us
week.
getting our invites.
And I ended up getting the invite the day after because I think I've been checking the whole week and it wasn't there. So they gave me like the Evite to present, which normally is okay because I've gone to the Ami show last season just with my Evite. And it's
You said the
fine.
name.
It's okay. We
Yeah.
can mention the show
Yeah.
because I think oh my gosh, guys, I also was attempting to vlog during this season. So I think I mentioned that also where I was like, guys, I can't get into the Ami show. But the guard wasn't letting me in with my Evite. So I literally stood by that
Gabby called me
barricade.
like about
30
to cry.
minutes,
I was like, what
40
do you need me to
minutes. I was
do?
just waiting. And then I saw another guy come in with the same Evite on his phone. And then so I came back to I was like, I have the same Evite and you're not letting me in. What's going on? So he said, okay, fine, show me the Evite again. And he's like, okay.
No, the thing is, you don't realize that if the guard doesn't like you, it doesn't matter if you're invited, they just won't let you in. You know, or if they like
Yeah.
something's up. But you know what's even funnier?
It stormed
It's-
after at the end of
I
that show.
don't know if you guys have seen the TikToks. Just Google Paris storm. This storm was giving like, what's a big bagyo that has happened? Like, what's like a bad like, what's like a
It was on their news, pal, that like it's not stormed that strong in Paris in years.
no, like trees were everywhere. It
The
felt-
next day, trees were everywhere.
I saw a video
like,
of the
they
Eiffel
fell.
Tower like.
Oh, really?
No, like, so me in LA, like, we didn't have Ami, so we were just having drinks with Aaliyah and stuff. And then we were like, okay, like, we moved inside because it was raining. So I didn't realize that the storm was getting worse and worse. Like, I was on Do Not Disturb because my phone was, or airplane mode because my phone was dying.
Yeah.
So I didn't get all your messages when everyone was like, we're soaked. Siobhan was like, I'm not going out anymore. So I didn't really see it. I go out. I call an Uber, but I'm still like not going out, so I don't see anything because I'm in a hotel. I open up the door. I had to like, you know, when you're walking and the wind is so strong, like you can't move. I was like walking in place, like running to the Uber because it was, I couldn't get home. Like I couldn't walk to, and then I was trying to open the door.
There
The
was
wind
also
was
really
so strong.
windy. It wasn't just rain. It was also really,
Oh my
really
God.
strong
Oh my God,
wind.
sorry guys, mine like.
And then I was Well, the Ami show was outdoors, so the rain only started during the finale. Like it started raining, but not hard yet. But by the end of the show, it was full on storming. Everyone was just running for their lives. Like ev- no one was able to say bye to each other. You just had to run and look for cover. And I had it on video, which is the funniest thing.
You have to
So
do the Jet 2 holiday thing, son.
yeah,
You
because
missed
I was
out.
on my Osmo, and then since I was trying to vlog, I was just narrating, guys, it's storming here, and you could hear in the background people were screaming in the
No,
background
like
and running.
screaming, and then some influencers were like posting like making rampa in the rain.
were
It was not like
romanticizing
that.
the
It was
rain.
not like that. It was actually insane. Like people were like, no, even like from the hotel, like people were screaming. Like it was ridiculous. Like and they didn't clean up the roads for the whole week.
Yeah,
The
there was
trees were
the trees on the
everywhere,
streets.
which caused traffic. People just like moved the trees
Yeah.
to the sidewalk. I'm like, where are you supposed to walk? No,
And
it
then
was so intense.
some streets also flooded. Like Avenue Montan, they posted it was flooded with all the stores there.
And again, people are just making rampa. I'm like, guys, it's actually intense, like super intense.
And even my street. So when Siobhan was like, should we go to the Ami after party? And then I thought the rain stopped already because I was just in my hotel editing my reel, looking at my photos, content. So I was like, okay, maybe if I finish my content, then I look out my window, it's still storming. Then I peek further. Oh my gosh, at the end of my street, it was starting to flood already.
Yeah.
And then I said, okay, I'm staying in my
Like
hotel.
in the metro,
Staying
like
home.
water up to here, like very, very intense. But that's sort of part of it, you know. Like now, couture is happening right now.
Yeah.
Drizzling. It hasn't been sunny one day.
Oh really? So it's
No.
raining still.
It's
I
been
thought it was gonna
drizzling.
be hot.
No,
But
I don't
no.
know why. Well, it's not like
Damn.
storming. The storm was a little intense, naman, but it's like drizzling a lot. Is there anything else? Is there a game? Let's
Yeah, I
play a
think we have
game
a
because
game.
we have an event in 30 minutes, and Gabbie has to do a voiceover.
Oh my gosh, I have to do a
first.
voiceover for this reel. I'm stressed. No, actually, it's not stressful because I know what I want to say. It's just I lost the complete voiceover, which
Yeah.
technical difficulties. It happens.
So the game is called Hot Take. And
Take?
so I'm going to give scenarios related to Fashion Week and then you'll just pick one. So it's like a this or that.
Okay.
Okay, so the first one is sit front row with a fashion influencer you dislike or back row with your best friend.
I feel like honestly, front row, just because you want to take good content. Let's be real. The
Yeah.
show is 15 minutes, so if you can't handle being beside an influencer you don't like for 15 minutes, really.
And I've sat next to people I don't like.
Yeah.
Not at Fashion Week, because like,
I mean, at the end of the day, it's
But
still
in
a
the
job.
Philippines,
Especially
it's a
like
job.
us, we're corresponding for
Yeah.
magazines. You want to give them the best content they can get, and you don't want like heads. When you're at the back, that's the biggest
Yeah.
challenge. I sort of try to angle my phone in between people's heads just so I can get a good.
it's not cute. And
video.
then they move, and then you just see like,
To be fair though, if I
hair.
get standing, you get nicer videos when you're standing.
yeah,
So
I
if,
prefer standing over like,
over like
we were standing for
second
color,
row.
and they're like, oh, do you want to sit down? And we're like, I guess.
but when you're standing, you're above the head, so you get nice footage.
Yeah.
So I don't mind standing
Same.
actually.
In Manila, I've done it. Like, you just suck it up, you know. Luckily, like we're sort of new to
Be
the
professional.
we're new to the industry, so like we don't really have any enemies there.
Yeah.
But
Like, hello, if you have an enemy at this point and you're
but then but
What did you
yeah,
do?
Like, what did you do? Do I have enemies? I feel like
in Paris.
no, not that I know of. But
What do you do? I know.
Okay, you wouldn't get invited. Never mind.
No, I think you guys are just like not enemies. I think you guys were just both like the stress of Fashion Week and you guys were shady to each other.
No, yeah, we're okay now.
Yeah.
We're okay. Okay, move on.
Okay. So the next one is look good on camera or sound good in interviews.
Sound good, and
Sound good.
you know why? Because there's people that have. I'm gonna throw shade. Have said stupid shit on stupid stuff on camera.
Multiple people.
No,
It
multiple.
happens a
There's
lot,
two. I know
actually.
two good instances.
Same. I'm thinking of two.
Wait. Mute this out. I'd rather look not presentable, because people know at the end of the day, like, it's a tiring thing.
Yeah.
You can't have a look every time. Sometimes you're just gonna show up like calm and junior. It's just like I'm wearing the same thing.
Yeah.
At least as in the brand demand, so it's fine. But it's just like
But I feel like
care.
it's more respectable to sound good than like
Yeah, it's more
to
about
look so good and
it's
then
more about the fashion at the
you're
end of the
saying
day.
something stupid.
Like you being a KOL or you posting is just extra.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay, so the next one is your camera dies mid interview or you forget your interviewee's name.
You can forget your interviewee's name. I would
Yeah.
say.
The camera you can't have die. Like the amount of times I had to like change the batteries, bring the sound thing. I'd rather have that work. Sometimes you don't even know their name and you just know they're
Yeah,
like a
you
big
just know.
KOL.
Oh, I can tell that there's someone. Let's interview them, but you
Or
don't really
like,
know their name.
Some people even, especially the K-pop, like you'll hear other people be like, "Oh, what's their name? What's their name?" And you're
It
talking,
happens a
and
lot.
you usually talk to their manager or person before you talk to them anyway. So sometimes, like even Alvin, I was just like, "Hey," which he ended up being like the nicest.
Yeah,
But I was
I mean,
like,
you can definitely interview someone without really saying their name, so it's okay.
yeah.
But if your camera dies, you don't have that footage.
So what's the point?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So the next one is stay up late to edit content or oversleep and miss a show.
I'll stay up
Stay
late.
up
We,
late.
we did that, girl. We didn't
Yeah.
have time.
That's actually the norm.
Yeah, I was like, "Hey,
for a
Gabbie, let's
night
go out."
show,
He's like, "I'm editing."
editing my
I'm like,
reel.
"Okay, fine." Yeah, we didn't have like things had to be out.
We never overslept. We'd always wake up early. I think it's also.
No, I've never.
I think it's also like
You're
pressure.
you're too stressed. Like Gabby would be like, "Okay, first show's at 2." It's like, "Okay, I'll be there at 11." Why? Because you never know. You never know what's gonna
Yeah.
happen. So we just did everything early, which like usually like I'm like, "Okay, bahala now we can be late." You can't be late to these things. So like, I'd get up like I'd sleep at like 3, 2,
Yeah.
and wake up at 7 every day, and just like you just have to keep going. Push, push. Is that it?
And then the last
Oh.
one is Milan Fashion Week or Paris Fashion Week.
I can only say Paris because it's the only one I've done.
I'm gonna say
But Liam
Paris
can
because I
say-
did more, but I really love both. It's just a completely different vibe, different brands. I think we're lucky that any opportunity you can get, you should go to.
Yeah.
But if I like had to,
Had to pick
pick my
one.
brand, I'd probably pick Paris. But Milan had its charm. It was just very difficult to be alone and having it be my first fashion week.
Yeah.
But I think I would go back if the opportunity was there, but I wouldn't like go out of my way.
It's not like
it's also
priority.
it is a big financial burden,
Yeah. I think that's really it. If there
It's
were
very
more things
mahal.
happening in Milan, it would be more worth
and
it
you
to
have
go.
to be there like the whole time because you never know. And it's like it felt like a vacation when I would rather be like I'd rather
Mhm.
go somewhere else because Milan's not the best place to vacate. Is that a vacate?
Vacate.
Vacate?
Yeah.
Vacate. Yeah, it's like I've seen the Duomo. You know, and the food is like not as good as like Rome, Florence. Like they have their own type of food. Luckily, I found. Oh my god, guys! I had the best carbonara of my life. We were 3, 4 people. We got 5 or 6 carbonaras. My god! But it was a Roman, like restaurant.
Yeah. Because carbonara.
So like the food's also like so I ended up just eating like my first meal was like McDonald's because I didn't have time. Like I didn't have time to like find a place and they do everything slowly and it's like I don't have time. You know, so Paris, but like I still love Milan. It has its charm. I wish my friend was there. So at least I would have more kasama or like things to do. But you know what? I think we should just be grateful for whatever we can get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay.
Okay, usually by this time we're like wrapping up. I think this is the wrap up because we have guys.
Well,
sorry.
yeah. Actually, to be fair, that question was very wrap up.
It is very wrap up. But you know, I think I'm grateful to have done it finally. I did New York, but it's so different. The brands are different, way
The
less
vibes.
pressure. I went as a KOL, so I didn't really have like things I had to do. Like I was just like vibing. But I'm glad I was able to do it with both of you. And you know what? When people say it's really not meant for everyone, it's not. Like it's not as like crazy as it. You know how like here we make events sort of
Like it's the biggest deal ever.
That's the same thing there. Like if you miss one, you're sort of calm. Like if I miss something, like if I don't get invited one season, it's not the end of the world. That's one thing I've learned. It's like it's not in your hands, and you sort of just have to chill.
Yeah.
So I was super chill towards the end. At the beginning, though, crying every day. Like before I left, I was like, I'm useless. I'm not getting anything. And then everything like sort of worked out. So if you guys want to try sometime, do it. But it's very expensive, very difficult. But if you really like what you do and you like going to Fashion Week, why not? But no, it's not just sunshine and rainbows. And I think I'm gonna leave it there because we
Yeah.
have to leave. But
But I do agree.
right? No, it's like no. Sometimes I'm like I might skip a season or two. Even like okay,
That was me
thing.
when I started. I'm like, maybe I don't have to go every season. But then I'm also like, when they start talking to me, I'm like, okay, I don't want to skip a season if they're saying I'm gonna be invited. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I feel
Like
bad.
even we were talking to
It's like while because you're not gonna be invited forever.
yeah, like we were talking to
So-
Ninang Brian Boy, Ninang, and he was like, yeah, I only did 4 shows this season. Like he's getting tired, and like that's his life, you know.
No,
So
he was also
it's-
telling us like enjoy it while
But
you're
yeah,
young, while
enjoy
you're
it
just
while you're
starting
young.
out.
So like
So I think like while it's there and
While
while
our
you're getting
youth-
invited to like 7 shows and how many presentations, then just
Yeah.
do it while it's the opportunity's there.
'Cause
I believe in that always. Like when the
Yeah.
opportunity's there.
do
Because like
it.
even when I was there, I went to this show that really like I didn't have to cover or anything. And then I said, do I still want to add this to my schedule? And I said, you know what, I'm
Why
already
not?
here. As long as I can do it, I'll
And
say
I
yes.
waited outside for you, and it was like literally like
Super hot.
the hottest time. Like
Hottest
someone
day.
fainted. A
No, it was
fan
the hottest day.
fainted. It was the hottest day, pa. But you know what? That's worth it. You know, like I hope you don't think we're ever complaining. It's just it's not as easy as it looks. You know, and everyone's like, congrats, congrats. I'm like, okay, I need like 3 business days minimum to just sleep because I got sick afterwards, and
Yeah.
I don't usually get sickly, but I really was like bedridden. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Gabby's gonna do his voiceover.
We'll see you again.
And
I mean,
we'll
you'll
see
hear
you-
us again next.
Well, it
Thursday.
depends on where you guys watch us.
Yeah, watch or listen. It's fine.
Bye, guys.
Bye.